Welcome to Just One Day, the channel dedicated to travel enthusiasts seeking unique and exciting experiences to explore the cities of the world in just 24 hours. Today we will explore Madrid, a city with 1,000 facets. Rich in art and culture, historic and characteristic neighborhoods, large green areas, and a bustling nightlife. It truly is the city of Movida, active and lively day and night. Unfortunately, in just one day, you can't see everything, so we recommend planning your itinerary well to discover as much as possible of this incredible city. For almost 5 centuries, Madrid has been the capital of Spain, ever since a reserved and determined king decided to bring the entire court to a modest village on the banks of the Manzanares River. Since then, Madrid has consolidated its fundamental role, becoming the political and financial center of the country and one of the liveliest European cities from an artistic and cultural perspective. Located in the heart of the Castilian Plateau and Spain, Madrid is the starting point for all journeys to discover the country, not only because of the presence of the Kilometer Zero in Puerta del Sol, from which all distances are calculated, but also because it encompasses the sounds, flavors, and traditions of the entire nation. Madrid and its 3 million inhabitants, which become over 5 if you consider the entire province/communidad, are also the protagonists of the eternal movida that characterizes the life of this cosmopolitan city. After the madness of the immediate post-Franco era, the city has regained its balance, but has not changed its face to the tourist's eye, still enchanted by the nighttime animation of streets, squares, venues, and taverns. Drawn in by the fun and captivated by the art that permeates the prestigious exhibition spaces of Paseo del Prado, visitors to Madrid are increasingly numerous every year and do not miss the appointment with the capital, even after the tragic events of March the 11th, 2004, admired for the pride of the Spanish people and their composed but firm reaction to terrorism. In 2023, the World Tourism Organization decrees a tourist flow to Madrid of 9.2 million visitors. Madrid enjoys a continental Mediterranean climate, with rather cold winters, though rarely leading to significant snowfall or freezing temperatures, and occasional temperature drops below zero. On the contrary, the summer season is characterized by relatively high temperatures, but fortunately lacks humidity, making the city center quite bearable. The best time to visit Madrid is during spring, April-May, and early autumn, September-October. Madrid is enjoyable year-round, but during these months, the days are long and the temperatures are very pleasant, avoiding the summer heat, albeit dry. Period to avoid. None, but it gets colder from late November to the first half of February. However, it is beautiful around Christmas. Regarding the economic aspect, it is advisable to go to Madrid during the low season in winter, November-February, excluding holidays. Planning a trip well in advance always ensures savings of almost 20%. The best compromise is spring, May for the climate, March-April for savings. Visiting the Spanish capital in spring not only provides a significant advantage for your budget, but is also convenient from a climatic perspective. You can explore Madrid without suffering excessively from summer heat and simultaneously avoid unpleasant snowy surprises. Here is the itinerary for a day in Madrid. 6 stops you shouldn't miss and alternative solutions based on your needs. The itinerary includes the main stops in Madrid, excluding museums and attractions such as the Prado Museum or the Reina Sofia Museum, which would take too much time. The itinerary starts at Plaza May, one of the main squares in the city. Head to the nearby Almudena Cathedral, explore its interior, and take a photo of the royal palace from the outside. Next, visit the unique Debod Temple and conclude the morning at Plaza de España, where you can stop for lunch. Then, stroll down Gran Via, Madrid's major shopping street, until you reach Puerta de Alcalá and visit the beautiful Retiro Park. After thoroughly exploring the park, head back towards the center to reach Puerta del Sol. End your day by attending a live flamenco show with dinner and drinks at Tablao Flamenco Torres Bermejas. A tablao is a type of venue in Madrid where you can experience the purest form of flamenco. Certainly, we can start with our first step, Plaza May. Begin your itinerary at one of the quintessential locations, Plaza May, one of Madrid's main squares. Until 1580, this square served as the city's market and the hub of its life, hosting popular festivities, events, and even executions. Undoubtedly, it is a place steeped in history. Today, as soon as you set foot in Plaza May, you'll be able to admire an elegant square surrounded by marvelous buildings. It is, in fact, a closed square, encircled by three-story palaces, thanks to the restructuring initiated by Philip II of Habsburg in 1561. From Plaza May, proceed to the city's first visit, the Almudena Cathedral. Located next to the Royal Palace, where there's just enough time to take a photo, the cathedral is dedicated to the Virgin of Almudena, the patroness of Madrid. Its history began in 1624, but due to various circumstances, more than 200 years passed from the project to the actual construction of the structure. It became accessible to the faithful after the consecration by Pope John Paul II. Today, it presents a variety of architectural styles and is a true beauty not to be missed. Visit information. Open from September to June every day from 9 a.m. to 8:30 p.m., July and August every day from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Limited tourist visits during the celebration of Holy Mass and religious events. Free entry with a suggested donation. Just one day's advice. Stop at Park Particular Vistas de la Almudena. From this small park in front of the Royal Palace, you get the best view of the cathedral. It's the perfect spot to take a photo. Then, stroll along Calle de Bailén until you reach the Temple of Debod, one of the city's most unusual monuments. It is, in fact, an Egyptian temple located on a hill within Parc de l'Est, not far from Plaza de España, and probably dates back to 200 BC. It is a genuine Egyptian temple, donated by Egypt in gratitude for Spain's assistance during the construction of the Aswan Dam. Admission is free, so you absolutely can't miss it. After taking some photos, head to Plaza de España, an important square in the Spanish capital with the fountain dedicated to Miguel de Cervantes at its center. It is also one of the main centers of the city and is always lively and bustling. Here, you'll find numerous establishments, so stop for lunch in the vicinity. Admire the panorama from the Mirador del Templo de Debod. Being on a hill, when you visit the temple, you can also enjoy wonderful views of the entire city. Don't miss the Mirador del Templo de Debod or the Mirador de la Montana de Príncipe Pío, the latter offering a view of the cathedral. Once you've had lunch, from Plaza de España, you can stroll down Gran Via, Madrid's trendiest shopping street, which extends to Calle Alcalá and concludes at Plaza de España. A true shopping haven, it was inspired by the skylines of New York and Chicago and completed in the early 20th century. Not only does it mimic the architecture of these iconic American cities, but it also hosts various musical theaters, earning it the nickname Broadway of Madrid. As you walk along the street, don't forget to pause and admire Plaza de Cibeles, one of Madrid's symbols known for its enchanting beauty. Upon reaching the end of Gran Via, you arrive at Puerta de Alcalá, 2.1 kilometers, 25 minutes from Plaza de España. It is one of Madrid's most representative monuments, inaugurated in 1778 by the will of Charles III. This neoclassical triumphal arch predates famous ones like the Arc de Triomphe in Paris and the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin. Truly a must-see. Explore the iconic buildings along Gran Via, such as the Telefonica building and the Metropolis building. In Plaza de Cibeles, marvel at the Palacio de Comunicaciones, the Palacio de Buenavista, and the Banco de España from the outside. From Puerta de Alcalá, you can quickly reach the beautiful Retiro Park, one of the city's main attractions, spanning 145 hectares. It's a haven for families, sports enthusiasts, and anyone wanting to escape the city's hustle and bustle. The park is also an open-air museum with statues, palaces, and beautiful gardens. Admire the Palacio de Velázquez and the Palacio de Cristal, stroll along Paseo de la Argentina, and rent a boat on the lake. An ideal way to appreciate the entire park is with a Segway tour. Just one day tip. Check the events calendar. If you visit Madrid from late June to mid-July, the book fair takes place, and tree-lined avenues fill with numerous bookstores. Also, catch a puppet show at the Teatro de Titis, perfect if you're traveling with children. Conclude this wonderful day in Madrid by returning to the historic center, passing by the Museo Nacional del Prado, and reaching Puerta del Sol, your final stop. Here, you find yourself in one of Madrid's most famous squares, contending for the title of the main square with Plaza May. If you are celebrating New Year's Eve in Madrid, make sure to visit Puerta del Sol. The Real Casa de Correo, housing the presidency of the Community of Madrid, has a massive clock that chimes the campanadas, the 12 strokes signaling the end of the year and the beginning of the new one. Stop at Kilometer Zero. Right in Puerta del Sol is Spain's Kilometer Zero. This is the conventional point from which all distances in the country are measured, placing you momentarily at the center of Spain. Activities and ideas for alternative itineraries. In Madrid, some of Spain's most important museums are located, but due to their significance and the richness of their collections, a visit often requires at least 4 hours. However, if you are interested in art and history, you should not miss the Prado Museum, the Reina Sofia Museum, and the Thyssen-Bornemisza Museum. In addition to visiting the Almudena Cathedral, a visit to the Royal Palace is also a must. Football enthusiasts should not miss a visit to the Santiago Bernabéu Stadium. However, being 8 kilometers from the city center, this visit, including travel and the tour, requires at least half a day. Finally, the Mecca of bullfighting is located here. The Las Ventas Boring is considered the most important arena in the world. Being 13 kilometers from the center, a half day is also required for this visit. Here are some brief suggestions for alternative itineraries. Family City Tour. Morning, Plaza de España, Parc de l'Est with the Temple of Debod. Afternoon, Gran Via with stops at Puerta del Sol, Puerta de Alcalá and Retiro Park. Alternatively, a day the Madrid Zoo Aquarium and late afternoon in the historic center. Off the beaten path itinerary. Morning, La Latina and El Rastro neighborhoods with typical markets, Jardín del Príncipe de Anglana and Plaza May. Afternoon, Gran Via with a panoramic terrace at Calaos el Cortesingles, Plaza de Oriente and Gardens, sunset at the Temple of Debod. Free attractions itinerary. Morning, Puerta del Sol, Gran Via, Plaza de España, Temple of Debod. Lunch, San Miguel Market, Plaza May, Retiro Park. Museum and city itinerary. Morning, dedicated to a museum, Prado Museum, Reina Sofia Museum, or Thyssen-Bornemisza Museum. Lunch, in Retiro Park, followed by another museum or Gran Via, Puerta del Sol, Plaza May and Almudena Cathedral in the afternoon. Football-themed itinerary. Morning, visit to Santiago Bernabéu Stadium. Afternoon, Fountain of Cibeles and Plaza de Canovas del Castillo, a meeting place for fans. Explore the city center and Plaza May. Where to stay in Madrid? Rich in attractions and things to do, Madrid is a lively and highly interesting city to visit. Being a large metropolis, it's easy to feel a bit disoriented when choosing where to stay. Madrid boasts an excellent public transportation network, so any area has the potential to be a good choice for finding hotels. One thing is certain, as a highly sought-after destination, wherever you choose to stay, make sure to book well in advance to ensure availability. To assist you in your selection, we have compiled this guide on where to stay in Madrid, gathering and highlighting the characteristics of each neighborhood, along with a selection of various types of accommodations. Madrid has a total of 21 neighborhoods. Naturally, the most popular ones from a tourist perspective are in the center or adjacent to it. The central area, including Puerta del Sol, Gran Via and Opera in particular, is a favorite among tourists. La Latina and Lavapiés are two very characteristic neighborhoods and slightly more affordable than those in the central areas. Nonetheless, the center is easily accessible by public transport. Malasaña is the alternative area, reminiscent of London's Camden Town. Full of life and affordable, it is recommended for the younger crowd, who can also consider neighborhoods like Arguelles, the university area, and Chueca, Madrid's trendiest district. Salamanca is one of the most expensive residential areas in Madrid, as well as the luxury shopping district. It goes without saying that high-end hotels can be found here. Finally, Retiro and Cortes are two quiet areas, ideal for families, art enthusiasts, and anyone who prefers a more relaxed setting. Finally, what to taste in Madrid? Let's discover it together. What do we remember from a trip? The accommodation? The means of transportation we used? Generally, yes, but only if they were truly terrible. There is another thing we always remember, but positively. The food. From the sandwich to the coffee taken in an unknown bar, eating is one of those things that allows us to determine the success or failure of our stay. If you think of Rome, you can't help but remember the cappuccino taken in a bar in the center or the fried foods bought in some typical alleys of the historic center. That's why it's essential to know where, how, and what you absolutely must eat if you plan a trip to Madrid. We can give you some tips to make it unforgettable. Whether it's the classic evening aperitivo or a breakfast with churros, here are the 10 things you must absolutely eat in Madrid. Cocido madrileño. Cocido is one of the most significant dishes in Madrid's cuisine. It's a stew of meat, vegetables, and sausages served in 3 courses, also called tres vuelcos. First the soup, then the chickpeas with vegetables, and finally the meat. More than a typical dish, it's a true institution of Madrid's cuisine. Bocadillos de calamas. It's one of the best-known dishes in Madrid's cuisine. These are sandwiches filled with fried squid. They can be found almost everywhere in the city. In bars, in kiosks, they are one of the most appreciated dishes for a quick, tasty, and affordable meal. Churros. Why chocolate churros are sweets known all over the world by now. Fried and coated with sugar, here in Madrid, they are served with hot chocolate to drink between bites, or to dip the churros in. Try them for a breakfast that's fit for a citizen of Madrid, or as a sweet and satisfying snack. Pinchos. Pinchos are appetizers served during the aperitif. They consist of slices of bread topped with cheese, sausages, fish, etc. As tradition dictates, the pinchos are held together by a toothpick, allowing you to eat them without worrying about the toppings falling everywhere. Tapas. Tapas are not a specific dish, but a collection of small dishes served in reduced portions as an accompaniment to beer. Just like pinchos, they are small tastings of different dishes that are eaten strictly standing up like a cap, hence the name, during one beer and the next. If you go to Madrid, you must try this typical dish not only of the cuisine, but also of the Madrilenian way of life. Gazpacho andaluso. This is a quite particular dish. Gazpacho is a cold tomato soup usually accompanied by bread croutons. If you're not used to it, you may not like it at first taste, but if you're in Madrid, you must try it at least once. Caracoles a la Madrilena. Now we come to something really special, caracoles. These are snails cooked and seasoned with a very flavorful sauce made of garlic, tomato, and chili. If you've never eaten snails, it might not be exactly the dish for you, but one should always give it a try, because it's one of Madrid's typical dishes. Tortilla. It's one of the typical dishes of Spanish cuisine and is served everywhere and in any way, even as a condiment for tapas and pinchos. Versatile, tasty, and easy to prepare, the tortilla allows you to play it safe if you don't know what to eat. Bocadillos de jamón. These are sandwiches filled with typical Spanish ham, much appreciated by meat lovers. They are served during aperitifs, between tapas and pinchos, but can be enjoyed at any time of the day. Chocinillo asado. Another typical dish of Madrid is chocinillo asado. It's a whole suckling pig slowly roasted until fully cooked. Recommended for meat lovers, it is said to be a real delicacy. And with that, our fascinating tour of Madrid comes to an end. We hope our adventures have inspired you to explore this incredible city for yourselves, perhaps following our tips to make the most of Madrid in just 24 hours. If you enjoyed the virtual journey with us, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Just One Day, so you won't miss out on our upcoming adventures and travel tips. There are still so many amazing destinations to discover together. Thank you for joining us on this tour, and remember, every day is an opportunity to experience an extraordinary adventure. See you in the next video. Goodbye from Just One Day! And safe travels to all.